Hi, I'm Ed Taylor, or Santa Ed, and I want to welcome you to the Worldwide Santa Claus Network. I'll give you a little brief overview of what the Worldwide Network really is. We have a lot of people that don't know exactly what is this. Is it a Santa school? Is it an association? Well, let me explain a little bit. First, let me explain why I became a Santa Claus. And it's one very, very simple reason. May well be the reason that you portray Santa or are considering the portrayal of Santa. And for me, it has to do with the Christmas spirit. I just love what Santa Claus represents, that the love in action, the Christmas spirit. And that's what really hooked me when I really realized that. And in case you're unaware, the Christmas spirit bridges many, many differences across not only the U.S., but around the world. You see, and of course, Christmas is founded on Christianity, but that the seasonal celebration, that winter celebration, the Yule, the solstice, the Winterfest, all of those that predate Christmas, they were also often and expressed love, gratitude, gift giving during those celebrations as well. So I think this Christmas spirit has been around for a long, long time. And according to Pew Research, more than 2 billion, with a B, 2 billion people worldwide in 160 countries consider Christmas to be the most important holiday of the year. And in the U.S., in the United States, 9 out of 10 people celebrate the holiday even if they're not Christian. And about 1/3 of the people in the U.S., they view Christmas as a cultural holiday rather than a religious holiday. So that's all interesting. And again, the connection is there, right? That heart connection is there. And to me, I love that. And I love, as Santa Claus, being that avatar, being that icon of that connectedness. So probably the most important thing that the Worldwide Santa Claus Network does is to help us with our own personal connection to the Christmas spirit. And we do that throughout the year so we can stay connected, not only in our portrayal of Santa or Mrs. Claus, but stay really connected to that Christmas spirit, reminding us and giving us simple ways to be nicer, to be kinder, to be more considerate, to be more forgiving, more compassionate. And all that is the Christmas spirit, that love in action that I know me and I think a lot of us try to exude throughout the year. So I think that's the most important thing that we try to provide through the network. But it's also much, much more than that, of course. For those who portray Santa, especially those who are real bearded, we have the unique privilege of being recognized as Santa all year round. And no, we don't have to be wearing a red T-shirt to do that. Very often, I can be out wearing any clothes. It makes no difference. And people see the beard and the hair, and instantly there's that recognition of Santa Claus. So we have a unique place to fill to keep that little mystery alive. We talk a lot about that within the network. And of course, those are some of the most fun interactions I think that a lot of us have throughout the year in restaurants and gas stations and grocery stores, where we're bringing that little connection to the Christmas spirit. So as you're seeing, the Worldwide Santa Claus Network is far more than just a Santa school. And it's not really a traditional Santa Claus organization either. It's a network of like-minded people who love what Christmas spirit is, what it stands for, and people who want to increase the Christmas spirit in their lives and in the lives of their friends and families, their communities, and beyond that. So I think that's really a definition of our membership. And here's what I've come to realize. Me wearing a Santa suit would mean nothing if it weren't for all the ambassadors of the Christmas spirit who never wear a Santa suit. I think you know who I'm talking about, right? Any of us as Santa Claus portrayers, when we are doing what we do, that Christmas spirit is, I want to say, 100% dependent on the others, on parents, and on people who organize community events and company parties and parades and all these different things. So these other bringers, ambassadors, I call them, of the Christmas spirit are so essential. And we want to find ways to support them also. And we might could show up at their events as Santa Claus, but we might also be able to help them have better events and attract more people and all those sorts of things. So we don't want to forget about all the ambassadors of the Christmas spirit. And here's one thing I know for certain. What we focus on has a dramatic effect on how we experience our life, right? I think we're old enough now, we've been around long enough to know that. What we focus on has a dramatic effect on how we experience life. And when we focus on problems, we find problems. And when we focus on the Christmas spirit, love plays a bigger part in our life. It's really just that simple. And one of the things that's my mission with the Worldwide Santa Claus Network is to find really positive things that we can all focus on all year round, so we have that greater love in our life. And the way I see it, just to be really clear, Santa Claus is not a person. Santa Claus is an avatar that 2 billion Santas without suits, parents, event organizers, all these people, it's what they manifest with us into this reality. It's the Santas without the suits that really make the magic happen. They buy, build, box, wrap, and deliver the gifts, and they express the Christmas spirit in their actions, and we get to be there to bring the joy, to be the focal point. But we really want to recognize that the Christmas spirit that we're helping to foster is brought about through all these others. And they're really the ones who make the Santa Claus portrayal, the Mrs. Claus portrayal even possible. It allows us to do what we do. And together, we're all the embodiment of the Christmas spirit. And the Worldwide Santa Claus Network, what we really start with are a couple of two kind of foundational things: personal development and professional development. Personal development and professional development. And of course, with personal development, what we're really talking about is our beliefs. What do we believe? What do we think? What do we value? What are all those personal things to us? And sometimes what we think, what we believe, what our personal development is all about, it can affect everything else, right? Our personal belief system, our core beliefs, affect all of our professional development. We might have a belief system that says nothing works. Oh, I've tried that; it doesn't work, right? And it may be very accurate. I mean, that doesn't work. Whatever it is we're talking about. Say you're advertising your Santa business on a platform, a Gig Salad or something like that. You say, well, I tried Gig Salad and it doesn't work. And there's probably another Santa out there that says, I tried Gig Salad, it works beautifully, right? And so sometimes what is true is also not true, and what is not true is also true, right? So what we try to do through the Worldwide Network here is to identify distinctions. Is there a difference when we take something global, this marketing effort, and say this does or does not work? We start looking at the individual specific things. It works better if the headline is this, if the images look like this, if the photos include this rather than this, I mean, we start looking at all the fine details so that we can make refinements to get better results in our business, better results in our portrayal, better results for the people that we work with. Again, these ambassadors of Christmas spirit, if they're bringing us into an event, have we learned a little bit? We maybe have appeared, or certainly the wealth of information within the decades of experience that have been brought here in the network. We have a wealth of information that we can share with people that are putting on events, that we can help them make their events better. So it's us understanding our own personality, our own core beliefs, our own belief systems, so that we can open the path to better professional development. The professional development is all of the how-tos, right? It's seeing the path. Here's where I want to go. Here's what I want to do, and then knowing the steps to take. And that's what we try to identify. So it's things like my beard is too long, too short, too this, too that, too curly, too whatever it is. All of those big generalizations we want to look at and say, we want to reframe the whole question. Can I do this? Can I be this ambassador, this avatar that we call Santa Claus with my beard managed in a slightly different way? Can I kind of find some grooming tips that will allow me to be extraordinary? When I use the word extraordinary a lot, and what I mean by extraordinary is to exceed the expectations of the people that we're working with. If we exceed their expectations, we did an extraordinary job. And so that's what we strive to do. And having these globals, this doesn't work. The better frame for that in our personal development, the better worldview is, rather than say this doesn't work, so I've tried that and it hasn't worked for me, right? I mean, so let's make it very individual, and then we can identify people that have made it work and say, well, what did you do different? And maybe it's just geography. Maybe in their area something works better, but very oftentimes it's not. It's little details. It's taking a slightly better picture and knowing what better looks like. I mean, sometimes we have a picture that looks terrific, but it doesn't do the job as effectively as another picture. And we cover this in the marketing sessions in the network. We have a lot of experience with the different marketing testing, A/B split tests they call it, and say when we change this image to look like this, it produces a better result than this. So there's a lot of those kinds of things. A couple of other things in general personal development to address. One of them is just our language, how we choose to talk to people. And we all have habits around language that we've had ingrained for decades. But things like you should, like that big universal, to me, I think it's much better in the development of our relationships within our network and beyond for that matter, but certainly within our network, we want, rather than say things like you should, or the best way to do this is to, say, I did that, and this is how it worked for me. Share your personal experience. Now, rather than what I should do, this is what worked for you, then I can decide what I want to do, right? We're adults. We get to decide. But sometimes I think that the language can be off-putting if people sound bossy or sound like they're coming from a place of ego or something like that you should do it this way, or the best way to do it is that way. So you'll find that I strive, I don't always do it, but I strive to share my experiences in a way that hopefully will benefit you. And I don't do that in some ego-driven way. I just want to share what I have found that works, what I have found that doesn't work. I mean, you might be able to tell that I have one of my eyes, my right eye, is slightly crossed. When I first started Santa Claus, it was severely crossed, and I was on an audition one time for actually a Mercedes-Benz commercial, and the casting director said, "Open your eyes, open your eyes." And I opened my eyes, and she said, "Oh." That was before my surgery, and now I still it's not perfect, but it's better than it was. But the point is, we work with what we have, right? But I don't want to tell anybody that this is how to do it. My experience with it is when we pose in a way that minimizes, like I did with my crossed eye, where I could get an angle on it where it wasn't as pronounced, right? It wasn't as so apparent. Then that was a better way for me. We want to identify all those. So our beliefs, our thoughts, our language, they directly affect our professional development. These personal beliefs, these personal habits of language, they really affect our professional development and the quality of our relationships, both within the network and beyond. So that's what you're going to jump into here with the Worldwide Santa Claus Network. I'm excited about what we're doing and excited to have you a part. We have multiple levels of membership from free. And again, if you're just new to all this and say, hey, I don't want to spend any money yet, join us as a free member and see what we have in there. Then we have memberships that increment all the way up to what we call a platinum level membership that has a focus on, in addition to all the other things, the entertainment industry, getting cast in movies and television shows and commercials and so forth. And I've done a fair amount of all those things, which I am just shocked to death about, right? I had no experience in any of that stuff up until until I started going to Los Angeles to pursue those kinds of opportunities after working in a mall one season in LA. And I've had a blast doing it. So there's just so much. There are so many opportunities, and we are so blessed that the demand for Santa is so high in all of our communities, that we have so many people we can serve, both in person and now with all the video-based things, Zoom and all the virtual visit types of companies. So there's opportunities to work in malls and work with different photo companies and to do your own little business where you're doing home visits and schools. And there's just all these opportunities, working with photographers. And we cover all of these things within the network. Working with those with special needs and making hospital visits and doing visits for like Make-A-Wish Foundation and things like that. And just so many. Storytelling. Would you like to be a good storyteller or learn about videos, how to do better videos? All of this is in there. There is a wealth, over 200 hours of information available to you that want to portray Santa. When I say over 200 hours, that's at the top level. The lower levels have fewer hours, but it's all listed on the website, and you can see where you have the highest level of interest and join us there. And then if you ever do want to upgrade, any remaining credit will be applied, so you don't ever lose any money. We always make sure of that. And we also have a money-back guarantee. So if you join at one of these levels and say, hey, it's not right for me, let me know. We'll refund your money. I want you to be happy, right? And want you to be jolly too, right? So anyway, again, I'm Ed Taylor, Santa Ed. Welcome to the Worldwide Santa Claus Network.